This is where MAGA comes to talk. I'm headed to the radio station. It is 4:33 a.m. here in not quite yet sunny South Florida and 73 degrees. And Mamdani is the mayor-elect of New York. Okay, I want to talk about this because I've got some things I'm going to lead with on the main show this morning that don't involve Mamdani, and I want to get a few things off my chest about Mamdani. One, I saw, Mamdani came out with his transition team yesterday, female socialist. And one story I want to go over on the main show today, John Solomon at Just the News, they got a major story. They were inside a Zohran campaign meeting recently about their plans, which are, they don't hide anything they do. Mamdani and his people, they're so sure that their anti-Semitic ways are the right way, anti-American ways are the right way. They vocalize them all the time. Okay, so he announced his team, his transition team, and all socialist women, but he asked for donations for the transition team. And I saw someone on YouTube, I cannot remember their name, and they're usually pretty spot on, and they miss this. Hold on, I got to adjust my watch band. Made my watch band just a little too... There we go, perfection. I was watching this guy on YouTube this morning. I cannot remember his name. I've watched him a few times. If I think of the name, I'll tell you. I just can't remember. And he's usually pretty smart, sharp on. And he's saying that Mamdani is broke, and that's why he's asking for donations for his transition team. No, the opposite is true. Mamdani, it's not, and I don't mean his personal wealth, because Mamdani and his wife and their families are millionaires many times over. All right. No, that's not, this is not what I mean when I tell you what I'm about to say. So this guy on YouTube, he says Mamdani's broke. That's why he's asking for transition donations from supporters. That's not at all the case. He is loaded with cash from all the big donors, right? He's got Soros funneling money in through the Democratic Socialist of America and various Islamic groups. He has unlimited cash. The reason that Mamdani is asking for donations to help the transition is so that people feel that they're part of the campaign. This is the People's Workers Movement. This is not a communist movement. It's not a socialist movement. It's an Islamic movement to Islamify the United States. That's it. I mean, but he wants people, these useful idiots, to donate money to the transition team so that they feel they're a part of it. It's textbook propaganda. And, when I go over some of the story, what I'm going to lead with today is, President Trump gave a great speech last night in Miami. Not only did he have a great speech, he laid out some important things, and really a warning to MAGA. And what I'm going to start with today involves that on the main show. I'm not going to get into it now. And the biggest problem that the MAGA movement, biggest problems, there's a handful of them. The biggest problems the MAGA movement is facing right now and what's going on. And I'm going to go through that. And a lot of people are not going to like what I have to say, but screw it, I'm going to say it. Not now on the main show. So if you're new, make sure you subscribe. This is where MAGA comes to talk, and you don't want to miss my morning show, which will start in about an hour. I'm driving to the radio station. I have to go to the radio station today. And I've got a busy day today. I got later today. Well, I'll tell you guys after the fact. I'll probably tell the Patreon supporters first, but I'm going somewhere to see somebody today that everybody in this room knows by name, and I'm pretty excited about it. Going with my daughter. I'm not going to tell you what it is or who it is, but I'll have to change my shirts. I'm wearing a t-shirt now. I won't be wearing a t-shirt to meet this person. Although, well, I'll just wait and tell you guys later what I'm going to do. But, we are in this. What's going on in New York City is such a disaster for the country. You know, liberals are idiots. Liberals are stupid. They have no understanding ever. Not just now. It's not just, oh, these Gen Zs and millennials. Democrats have always been stupid. I don't care what era you go to. And I talk about this a lot. And this is another one of those moments in America with Mamdani as mayor of New York. If you look back throughout history, when liberals have all these grievances with the United States and they think America should apologize for things, it's always something that the Democrats did, right? Always. Racism, segregation and Jim Crow. Segregation and Jim Crow. That was the Democrats. Republicans ended that. Segregation, Jim Crow, Democrats. Tuskegee experiments. Giving black people syphilis and not giving them penicillin during drug trials. That's the Democrats. The internment of Americans of Japanese descent. Democrats. Slavery. Democrats. The massacres of the Indians during the Indian Wars. Democrats. General Andrew Jackson, right? So, so Democrats have always been doing evil things. And making Mamdani mayor of New York is another Democrat evil thing. And when I was growing up, I'd hear a lot of even, I didn't understand it, but now I do. I would hear a lot of conservatives talk about liberals as by the way, if you're new, make sure you subscribe. They describe liberals as the hate America first crowd. And I really, I couldn't understand that. I'm like, how can you say that? What do you mean they hate America? They're Americans. And of course the liberals hate America. So what the liberals are doing all the time is everything they could possibly do to screw this country over and bring it down, because these liberals who live in the greatest country in the world and have an incredible lifestyle available to them, they think America is the root cause of all the problems of the world. And if the United States did not exist, that the world would be a utopian place. So they've always done these terrible things, and making Mamdani the mayor of New York is their latest crime against humanity in this country. And when Mamdani broke his cover and we saw his true ugly self yesterday, the smile's gone and his true beliefs coming out in his acceptance speech, Van Jones on CNN was even shocked by that, the real Mamdani. And he is a racist. When he went through all the people that he's representing, none of them were Americans. And by the way, Americans is not a code for white people. Americans come in every skin color and religion and ethnicity known to man. But he wasn't talking about Americans. He was talking about others. New York City hasn't just fallen. It's been conquered. And it's going to be run by foreign interest. Very evil foreign interest. And that's a fact. Brought to you by Democrats. And I know people are saying, oh, this wasn't legit. It was legit. These New York Democrats are dumb. Dumb. Very stupid people. So, no. They did this, and they did it on purpose, friends. Make no mistake about it. Look at the turnout that Zohran had. Oops, someone just got pulled over. Look at the turnout Zohran had with single women in New York City. Overwhelmingly supported. What a bunch of idiots. Bunch of young, stupid idiots. You know, and the thing about young white liberals, you hear these dumbasses that call me. They think they're so smart. They took a class. They read a Wikipedia. They saw someone on TikTok, saw some Instagram reel, and they think they know something. You know, sometimes people think because they have some book knowledge, meaning that they can recite facts or recite some passage in the Constitution or something, that they have an understanding. You know, the college, what it used to be, is not what it is today. Now today, colleges are liberal indoctrination centers, but what the purpose of college, unless I'm not talking about like a specialized degree, like if you're going to be a doctor or an engineer or something, that's a little different. But the purpose of college, one of the main, you know, when you're in college, your first 2 years, you're taking, you know, basically high school classes, right? Math requirements, English requirements, and all these things, science requirements. I'd be like, why are we doing this? It's like high school. What college used to teach you wasn't just factual information. It would teach you how to think, rewiring your brain to think logically. So, you know, these young people, many of them are college educated. They don't have logical thinking skills. They could just recite a passage from a book or something that they've read or were taught or something, and they think they have no understanding of what they're saying or the meaning of it. And they also have no practical life experience. Yeah, I gave an example. If you go to medical school or law school and you've got the degree, what good is that if you don't have the life experience of a resident, right? Or a lawyer, right, out there working at a law firm. You gotta have some practical experience to understand these things and how they apply in the real world. And there's such an arrogance. Well, I went to college. And a lot of people went to college. Okay, it's no big deal. I was lucky that I went to college as an adult, so my mind didn't get warped by all this liberal crap. But so these liberal, white, college-educated New Yorkers that voted for Mamdani are just so stupid. You know, I'm not comparing Mamdani to Hitler, but the rise of Hitler was a number of things were involved in the rise of Hitler, but one of them was the intelligentsia in all their arrogance, or the people who thought they were the intelligentsia thought they could control Hitler. You can't control these people. You cannot control radical revolutionaries. And what's going on with Mamdani is he is a revolutionary. The press covered for him. Cuomo running against him, would never talk about the elephant in the room, was running like he was running against a normal person. He is a radical revolutionary who's bringing a revolution to fundamentally change the United States. And like Obama, and everything we're dealing with in this country today that's negative is all Obama. I was talking about this on the morning show yesterday with Steve Kane. If you look back in the history of the Obama administration, on the surface it looks pretty uneventful, right? Oh, he had Obamacare. It was a turning point. 8 years busy. And while the images we saw of Obama were really him goofing around and with his feet up on the desk, his administration was as busy as Trump's administration. It just was all in secret. And what Obama was doing is bringing, we don't know how many millions of Muslims to the United States. And also instilling democratic socialists all over the place. So all this bullshit that's going on, from the trans crap to Mamdani and everything in between, it's all of the very busy 8 years of the Obama presidency. And people don't realize that. They really, truly do not realize that at all. Oh boy, I tell you. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe. This is where MAGA comes to talk. I'm driving to the radio station today. Tomorrow I'll be back in my studio. It's a bit of a drive to the radio station, I'm here to tell you. But yeah, and these liberal idiots, they just don't know what they've done. I could sense a little bit on CNN, David Axelrod and Van Jones, when they saw that speech, it finally dawned on them what's happened here. The Democrat Party no longer exists. It's officially a Democratic Socialist Party, but that's just a cover. It's not a Democratic Socialist Party, a Socialist Party, or even a Communist Party. What the Democrat Party has become now is a radical revolution for the purpose of bringing down the United States. And one of the first moves they did, and this was Obama's doing too, this loser bum, Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders is a loser bum. He didn't have a steady paycheck till he was about 35 years old. He lived with his mom and dad until he was about 30, 35, and he got elected mayor of some stupid town in Vermont. And that was the first time he had a regular paycheck. And you've got this loser bum, who's like got this democratic socialist movement going. But Bernie Sanders and his arrogance and stupidity, he's another one of these liberals who thinks he's some intellectual. He's just a stupid idiot. He ran as a democratic socialist, not as a Democrat. And Obama, who was the head of the Democrat Party at the time, led Bernie Sanders in the Democrat primary debate, which should not have been allowed. They let him run as a Democrat even though he wasn't a Democrat. And they've lost their party. They have lost their party. That's why James Carville's always on TV and incoherent rages, because his entire life work is gone and he sees what's happened. And we don't have any Democrats that are young enough with their wits about them. If Bill Clinton were, still a young man, he could get control of the party, but the party's gone and they don't realize it. There is no Democrat Party. There's no Democratic Socialist Party. It's a radical revolutionary movement, not even a political party. It's a radical revolutionary movement led mostly by foreign interest for the purpose of bringing down the United States. That's what the Democrat Party is. And Obama led Bernie Sanders in the Democrat debate, which opened the door to AOC and all this other nonsense. How can you have somebody that's not in your party running on your party ticket? You can't have a Democrat say, I'm a Democrat, and run as a Republican. They have to become a Republican. But democratic socialist is a lie. These are not socialist. These are not Democrats. And they're not communist. They are radical revolutionaries, and quite frankly, I would be very happy if the president would declare them so through an executive order, like and purge them from the political process, because they should not be permitted. These are people with a lot of foreign interests. They're using money laundering to do it. These foreign interests are giving money to different groups, and then those groups then funnel it to Mamdani and their candidates. But it's foreign interests, China, and Muslim countries that are hell-bent on bringing down the United States. It's so obvious. It's happening. That's what's going on. I'm going to talk about this on the main show today, but we got a big problem that I got to cover with our MAGA movement and our MAGA party is what I'm going to lead with. But what I've just shared with you, I'll get into on the air as well, and take your calls. I've got one of the busiest freaking days. I'm going to, when I get to the radio station, those of you that are Patreon supporters, I'm gonna ask you guys a question. I'm meeting, well, I'll give you one of the hints. I'm meeting one of the Trumps today. I'm not going to tell you which one. And with my daughter. And I am wearing my Trump 2028 hat when I do that. And but I got a question that I'm going to ask you who are Patreon supporters about something when I meet them today. And I'll tell you who, if you're a Patreon supporter. So if you want to become a Patreon supporter, there's a link in the description. I'd like to ask you guys, but I don't want to tell everybody what I'm doing until after I'm done. Boy, the roads are busy this morning. I left a little early. I'm going to be at the radio station early. And I brought my coffee. I don't have to stop at Starbucks. Brett Cooper's getting in a lot of hot water defending Tucker. You know, I got no beef with Brett Cooper, but she doesn't know what the fuck is going on. Excuse my French. She's an actress. She's very young. You know, she doesn't even understand the things she's saying. She should stick to the reaction videos to TikTok and celebrities. You know, she does not understand what's happening with Tucker and Nick Fuentes and Ted Cruz and everyone. And she thinks she does. You know, when she was at the Daily Wire, she had scripts written for her by that girl that replaced her best friend that betrayed her. But she had no idea what she was talking about today. People are giving her a hard time. She's too young and dumb to be given a hard time about. You know what I mean? She's just young and uninformed. I'm not saying she's stupid. Stupid would be like, you know, like some mental problem where she doesn't have the ability to understand what's going on. She has the ability. She's just young and not informed, and you know, doesn't have an understanding of what's going on with Tucker, which I will cover somewhat today, because what I'm gonna talk about, I'm not gonna give any specifics now, but there's some problems in the MAGA movement, and we got to get our shit together before the midterm election season starts. And I'm going to go over it. And a lot of people are not going to like what I am going to say, but I don't care. It's got to be said. It's got to be said. Boy, the cops are out and hiding this morning. A lot of day troopers out. If you're new, make sure you subscribe, guys. My name is Brian, and this is where MAGA comes to talk. I gotta make sure I don't miss my exit. I don't usually go this way that I'm going, and I don't have to go to Starbucks, so I gotta get off at a different exit than I normally would. I don't want to miss it. It sucks. On the turnpike, if you miss an exit, the next one's way the freak out of the way. Cop just passed me. They're out in mass today. I just saw them pull somebody over a few minutes ago, maybe 10 minutes ago. But we've got the, you know, what we have right now is the first time the Republicans have had a truly strong coalition. All right. Got about 5 or 6 miles to go, ish. Not exactly sure how far. Alexa, what's the weather?
In West Palm Beach, it's 72 degrees Fahrenheit with cloudy skies. Today, you can look for intermittent clouds, with a high of 82 degrees and a low of 72 degrees. Also, there's a coastal flood statement in effect until Thursday, November 6th, 11 a.m.
And I came across an interesting business idea yesterday too that I'm mulling around in my mind. I'm not going to share it yet, but I got to think about it a little harder. This is one strange vehicle in front of me. What the hell is this? Can you see those lights? Let me pass and see. What kind of trailer is that with those kind of lights on it? Let's see. It's like a semi-truck with an escort. Let's see. This guy in front of me is going too damn slow. If I can pass, we'll see. I don't know why you're in the passing lane and going the speed limit. You're supposed to pass. This is for passing. You know, this guy's got like warning lights on his vehicle going. Is that even legal? It's kind of like sirens, isn't it? What's that about? I don't know. He's just behind a regular semi. I don't even know if that's legal. Is that legal? I don't know. Very strange. All right, coming up to my exit. I don't want to miss it. When I was doing this every day, oh my goodness, it was taking a toll on me. That's why I started working out of my own studio most of the time. So I got a lot to cover on the show today. I am going to go, this stuff I talked about with Mamdani, I am most definitely going to be talking about. But Okay, less than a mile till my exit. But I'm gonna open with this MAGA warning. We got to get out there, because if we ignore this problem and don't take care of it, who knows? Wow, this truck in front of me is like swerving all over the highway. I'm not going to pass. I was going to pass him for the exit, but I'm not going to pass this guy. He's driving like a lunatic. It's a big box truck. Sometimes people driving box trucks don't know what they're doing, or he's tired and falling asleep. I don't know. Could be both. Oh, great, good. He's not getting off at my exit, so I don't have to stay behind him. Oh boy, I tell you, one of the things, Americans, we, celebrate diversity and such, and Mamdani and the liberals, they take that to the nth degree, and these evil foreign forces that are at work, that Mamdani's a part of to bring down our great country, they use America's love of diversity against us. I give an example. Yesterday the night before in his evil acceptance victory speech, Mamdani was talking about all these immigrants, and they're the ones going to be running. The United States was founded not, by a lot of immigrants. I don't know if you consider colonist immigrants. We really kind of, but a lot, but after that, there were waves of immigration to the United States that played a big part in the country. But the difference is, those immigrants wanted to become Americans. What Mamdani wants us to do is become Muslims. That's it. I mean, it's an assimilation. It's like the Borg in Star Trek, The Next Generation. It's not about assimilating into our culture. They want us to assimilate into theirs. And they're very sure of themselves about that being right and just. More cops hiding out. What's with all these cops hiding out today? What percentage of police work, like, actual, I'm not talking about office work, what percentage of police work is traffic? It's too much. Leave people alone. Look for real criminals. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. This is most definitely where MAGA comes to talk. I'll take a quick look at the chat when I get to, I'm almost to the radio station. I'll take a quick look at the chat before I get out of the car. Pulling up to the radio station. So, about 40-minute drive? Let me see how long I've been live streaming. I started live streaming on my driveway. That'll give me an idea of how long of a drive. 35 minutes. Much longer getting home. Much longer getting home. The New York liberals are just stupid. They're just stupid morons. They're stupid morons. That's what they are. They're a bunch of dumbasses. I mean, you know, who would vote for this? Who would vote for this? You have to be dumb to elect this guy, right? They are stupid as stupid can be, New Yorkers. And the arrogance, you know, that they have, you know, but they're, you know, but this is, you know, New Yorkers can be very arrogant. They think everything's about them, you know, like 9/11, you know, was about this country, not New York. Although they hit the, you know, they took a big loss, so there was that. But this election of Mamdani isn't just about New York. It's about the entire country. And that's what they just don't get, right? That's just what they don't get. It's about the whole country. I'll take you guys in at least part way with me. Oh, I thought I forgot my stuff at home, but I didn't. If I did, I'd be in trouble. Well, it's the product of these liberal schools. It's the liberal education system. Yeah, I'm early to the radio station because I got to get... When I come, you know, my studio at home is set up around the clock. This is not. So, you know, for there's the radio portion set up, but I got to set up my YouTube live streaming with my laptop. You know, at home I use my iMac. Here I use my laptop to live stream with. So I got to set everything up, get the lighting going. You know, one thing I've learned from President Trump, when I walk upstairs, I always hold the handrail now. I never did that before, but he always holds the handrail up the stairs, and I do that too now. Never did that before, but I do now. Serbia, welcome. Okay, I have to put the phone down. Hold on. I have to put the phone down for a minute. I'll be right back because I got to go through some security that I can't show you guys. So I'll be right back. Hold on. All right. Well, I got to have security. So this is the radio studio. I've done vlogs on this before. These are the guest mics. And then that's my mic. Yeah, this is the radio studio. This is what it looks like when I come in the morning. But it'll take me about 20 minutes to get set up to live stream. It's very nice. This is a very modern studio. This board right here is about a $50,000 board, easily. No less than $50,000. And we've actually got a duplicate of it in there. So that's $100,000 just in boards. But there's more in here too. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. I've done vlogs on this, but it is a very nice studio. So this is what I see when I'm on the air. Everything's electronic now. See, these are the levels of what's on the air now. And then here's all how the commercials play. There's the commercials that'll be playing later. Every hour of the show, every hour of the day. Right now we're in the 5 a.m. hour. So, see, right where it's red is what's playing right now. Whatever's red, that's how it works. Yeah, it's really nice. It's nice. And this is the same mic I use at home, just a different color. The one I have at home is silver. This one's black. It's the same mic, though. And then over here's the guest mics. There's the door, some offices and such. Well, listen, if you're new, make sure you subscribe. If you missed the beginning of the stream, go back and watch it. And I got a lot to cover. I'll be on the air soon. I'll be taking your calls. We got a lot to cover on the program today, guys. I'll see you in just a bit. Thanks for watching.